Welcome back to another Warframe video. How are you guys doing today? Hope you're doing great. So today's video, you obviously see by the title, I'm doing the top 5 must-have melee weapons in Warframe for 2021. Alright? And there's a couple things you need to know how I'm about to do this video. And I just want to let you guys know something that is very important. Because I know there's going to be a lot of people they're going to have their own opinions on everything, but I need to set this straight and make sure you guys understand of how I'm doing this. So obviously I'm doing from starting with the low number 5, and all the way up to 1, alright? Now, these weapons that I have ordered on the list does not mean I'm doing from least to greatest. I am doing this from what I hear about these weapons, how popular they are, how great they are, how much damage they do. They're really good, and it's basically what I'm hearing from people, and more just experience for myself when I have played with these weapons. So that's what I'm doing this on. It's not supposed to be from least to greatest, greatest to least. That's not what this video is about. So if you have anything to say about the order of the list I have these weapons in, please at least keep it not complainish in the comments below. Alright, if you do have something to say, let me know in the comments below about what do you think, alright, about this order. But please, just don't be so annoying in the comments, okay? But anyways, that's all I really had to say. Now let's go hop into this video. I know this weapon is new to the game already. Guard Prime is now available, but I had to give this to the top 5 must-have weapons because I think it's something so different, and I think it deserves to be on this list, even though it's new. So the Warframe Prime, I give it to you for the 5th place. You deserve it because since you're new, you've been given a gift. Especially with your Prime version, I think you are like already amazing. Even though I haven't played with the original version of it, I think you're just one that is amazing. Now, not only that, do you have slash damage? You're pretty dope. Alright? But you can't beat the Fragor Prime. That's the only thing you can. The Fragor Prime is kind of still on top though. It's got pretty good status, alright? It's got pretty good stats overall. And I think, and sorry, I didn't mean its status, but I meant to say stats overall because it's crazy. The crit chance, crazy. And I think that's what's the best thing about it. Now, people might disagree with me or not. I really don't care. I'm thinking, you know, I'm just going by what I experienced with the Fragor, and the Fragor is just good. Now, the only thing that the Fragor can't do is viral damage. It's terrible at that. The only thing it's good at is corrosive, and it murders anything in its way when it comes down to corrosive. So that's what I had to say about the Fragor. But Volnus, I give it to you because you're actually one amazing, you know, and the fact that you do slash damage is honestly amazing as well. So I just had to put you number 5 because you're interesting. You're definitely popping in Warframe right now. Everybody's probably loving you right now, and I think you're interesting. So you're always going to be interesting, and probably another cool weapon in the game that can do slash damage, especially for a hammer. Mind you, this is a hammer. It is cool, you know? That's my thoughts on it. Let me know yours in the comments below. I think this weapon has some competition with another pole arm weapon, and I had to put this one in the 4th spot on my list for must-have melee weapons because this one is definitely amazing. Definitely something you should have in your arsenal because it is worth it. It is so dope. It actually came with this Warframe called Chrono Prime. One of the amazing weapons, especially for a melee weapon that you need to have. Guantanamo Prime, alright? Guantanamo Prime is another weapon that you should have. And comparing it to the Orthos, which I think I passed it. It just, they're like, you know, toe to toe, going head to head on who's the best pole arm in the game. these two are definitely the top two best pole arms in the game. Nobody else can compete with that. And there's no other pole arm in the game right now besides Castleware, but that's just terrible. He's out. Don't even bother bring him to the conversation. But these two definitely go head to head. All right, but I will still give it to the Guantanamo Prime because of its crit chance. Amazing. Now, people say the status at 20% is already good status. You don't need anything else to really compare. And even though the Orthos has good status, I would still give it to the Guantanamo Prime because of its crit. I won't lie. Slash damage is definitely amazing as well. So that's why I have to give it to the Guantanamo, because you're just one amazing. Compared to your original weapon, you were just bonkers trash, you know? Very trash. And I did see potential in you. All right, you had so much potential. You were actually doing pretty good of crit, but just not enough crit or status, you know. And I think that's where it just flopped for you. But look at you now. Prime version, a whole lot better than your original weapon. So yes, you had to be the fourth on my list. If we're talking about heavy melee weapons, I definitely have to give it to the most craziest melee weapon. Heavy, by the way, heavy blade melee weapon in the game. I have to give it to the Grand Prime. This weapon is actually one of the craziest stats. A whole lot of stats from its original weapon that just got so much increase on it. It's just honestly blowing my mind. So definitely the Grand Prime is the third weapon on my list because he deserves this spot. And I just clicked out the weapon. If we compare it to the other melee weapons, the heavy blade melee weapons in the game, the only weapon that, you know, maybe could go toe-to-toe with this is probably Guantanamo Prime. Alright, because the Guantanamo Prime is another great weapon. It has really good attack speed. It has overall pretty nice crit chance. Pretty nice status. It could go toe-to-toe with that, nearly. Toe-to-toe with the crit multiplier, you know. It's got some pretty good... It's got actually amazing crit, slash damage. And the other ones just can't compare to it. It's just out of his league. So, really... there's obviously other great heavy blade melee weapons in the game that I do consider getting as well. If we're talking about Vichika, most definitely. War, most definitely. Paracesis, most definitely. You're definitely gonna need that weapon. And heavy blades. I think that's really just it. So those are other weapons that you can get. Alright, they're also good as well, but the Grand Prime is way better. I think it stands out the most between all these other weapons that they can do. They just don't have what the Grand Prime has in the stats. The stats. They don't have the stats. Alright? The Grand Prime, the only one that has the most craziest stats of all when it comes to heavy blade melee weapons. Now, the second weapon on my list is definitely a talk about weapon that has been going around for the longest time. Alright, it's just an ongoing talked about weapon, and I definitely agree. I love this weapon. It's really good to take to the Steel Path. It's amazing, just like all these other weapons that are good to take to the Steel Path. But I think this one is just mostly top of popular, you know, being poppin' in the Warframe weapon community. So I gotta give it to the Chrono Prime for being on the second list because it's a must-have, most definitely a must-have weapon, and a lot of people definitely do talk about this weapon so much that it's just crazy. All right, they're always asking for builds on this weapon, and I deliver mine. I don't know about anybody else, but I deliver mine. So this weapon is good. There are some other, what's it called, tonfas. They're called tonfas in the game that definitely can never beat this weapon. There are some different Cronins in the game, like Telos Cronin and the original Cronin, but obviously Chrono Prime is always going to be one step ahead and being a better weapon. If we're just talking about tonfas, alright? Not comparing to the other weapons, but the Chrono Prime got definitely some good stats in here, alright? Definitely amazing, and I gotta say, you're amazing. really good slash damage. You have one amazing stances in this game that I really do love, and it's called this Sovereign Outcast. Comparing to the other stance, I think it's called Gemini. The Sovereign obviously is just way better. It does really, really good high slash damage. It's fun to play with. I like how it moves. I like the combos. You know, they're just really simple. You're not all over the place like Gemini does. That's just the one thing that pissed me off about this weapon, is because the stance Gemini, it just was so terrible. I was just moving across the map doing this, doing backflips or whatever it was. I just did not like that stance at all, which made me not like these weapons. And sometimes the stance really do matter to these weapons. It's really just how it moves, but most importantly, obviously, it's the damage type, the combos. You gotta worry about the combo moves. If the combo moves are not good, then they're not gonna do good damage. So, but Gemini definitely was a terrible stance for this weapon. I don't like it. If you're talking about damage, then people might disagree with me. But I did not like how it moves, so I had to definitely switch over to the Sovereign Outcast. So, if you disagree with me or agree with me on this, then let me know in the comments below, but that's just my opinion. You have yours as well. Number 1 on my list, must-have weapon, is the Chrono Prime. Now, the Chrono Prime has been talked pretty much in Warframe. I've heard it, a couple of times here and there. Chrono Prime, I think, definitely was talked the most, if we're really saying in 2021. All right, I think Chrono Prime was definitely talked about. I haven't really heard about any Chrono Prime, and I'm not just saying, like I said before, I'm not really going about what's damage wise or whatever. I think Chrono Prime, or what's really going popular, but damage wise, this weapon can do some damage. So Chrono Prime in the game for Nakanas is definitely a must-have. Definitely a must-have. All right, if we're comparing to the Skajati, all right, this is another great weapon that's in the game for Nakanas. I think these two weapons right here can definitely go toe-to-toe, but Chrono Prime is always going to be on top because of its crit chance, because of its status, because the way it moves, the slash damage, slam attacks are pretty dope. All slam attacks are, honestly, I think, really on the rise. I think that's what people like, actually, but I really don't know. I'm not always a slam attack person. I just play the weapon as it is and use combo moves and all that. I just don't even look at slam attacks. But I think this one is definitely great. Skajati has it better though, but this one is still pretty great. But yeah, base damage is looking pretty dope, and that's all I really have to say about this weapon. Stance wise, I think I got judged for saying Blind Justice was the best stance. I mean, there are pretty good stance out there, but I don't know. I think Blind Justice was just something new, something so unique. You know, how it moved, it looked like it just does a lot of slash damage, just like all the others can, but I think definitely Blind Justice was doing a lot of great damage, especially how it moved. It was just really nice to me, and I thought it was good, and I thought it was the best, so, yeah, but I got judged for that. People were like, it's not the best, blah, blah, this, that, you always get judged for everything you say, especially when you're a YouTube content creator, you get judged for everything. So, yeah, that is it for this video, alright? Those are my top 5, I should say, or just, what I'm going about, popular, what's really good, what's banging, all that. What's really good, and I thought these weapons would definitely meet the criteria of being one of the best weapons in Warframe for 2021, and definitely a must-have. So if you disagree or agree, let me know in the comments below. All right, please keep a positive comment down below. All right, but that's all for this video. Let me know if you think these definitely are the most must-have, and let me know in the comments below what should have made the list. All right, but that's all for this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you leave a like, and make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You guys can always hit me up, and we're on the road to 2K, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're nearly there. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You guys can always hit me up. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.